Hi, I'm Amy, and I'm with Ron and Donna Polstra with Taste of Life here in Monument. And they have an incredible business here and serving the community. And I would love to hear about your business. And they also have some two amazing stories about using the Slenderiiz drop. So when I met them, I said, I want to come visit your location, and I would love to get both of your stories. So first of all, tell me a little bit about your operation here.
Okay, well, it really started over 20 years ago.
Oh, wow.
As a food co-op out of our garage.
Oh, goodness.
And it just spread by word of mouth.
Okay.
I found natural sources for chicken and beef and buffalo. And
oh, wow.
I was already baking out of my home kitchen for people.
Okay.
So we turned it into a co-op. And Ron even installed a walk-in cooler in our garage so that we could keep all of our products safe.
Okay.
But it grew so large. And so back in 2006, we decided to start a real store.
Okay.
And so we started in downtown Monument in a very small location.
Okay.
And it was very popular.
Okay.
But that first little location had a tiny commercial kitchen.
Okay.
And so we thought, well, we already have all these natural products, organic produce, and all of that. Let's make a dinner.
Okay.
And so I believe our first dinner was buffalo lasagna.
Okay, wow.
And then we expanded from there and made a chicken pot pie, and then a chicken enchilada dish that I just made for our family for, decades.
Okay.
and it's one of our number one sellers.
It still is. Yes, it still is.
Oh, it sounds good.
And it just really grew in popularity.
Okay.
And so then some friends of ours said, hey, we want to help you expand. And so now we have a 3,000, well, now almost a 4,000 square foot kitchen.
Oh, wow. It's incredible. I walked by it.
It feels pretty big to us.
Right, right.
And so we have a full kitchen crew that cooks.
Okay.
And then my daughter and I and several other employees are the bakers.
Okay.
And so we still mill our own flour.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And make homemade breads. We make plenty of desserts, like dessert breads, muffins.
Right.
One of the biggest growing lines in our business is gluten-free.
Okay.
And so we have
popular.
a dedicated gluten-free kitchen.
Okay.
Or, excuse me, gluten-free dedicated bakery.
Okay.
Because the kitchen has gluten-free as well, but flour doesn't roam around in the cook section.
Okay, okay.
So, but the bakery is pretty important to be dedicated, and it is, and we're in 26 Natural Grocer locations.
Wow, so you're in Natural Grocers in Colorado?
Along the Front Range.
Oh, along the Front Range.
As far south as Pueblo, and then up, and now we're going to what we call the distant lands.
Okay.
And that's like Fort Collins, Longmont, so we go way up there as well.
And then we also go up into the mountains.
Yes,
Okay,
Evergreen, Conifer.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. So our
wonderful.
son is the delivery guy.
Okay.
And our daughter Annie helps us run the business.
Okay.
So it is definitely a family affair.
Oh, wonderful.
So
So how many employees do you have?
About 19.
19.
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
And including
us, including the
you.
Polstras.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Wonderful.
Bodies.
Yes.
Okay.
One of the fun things too that we have is we have a little tiny daycare here.
Oh.
Because our grandkids were coming along and we thought, hey, we don't want to lose our son and daughter, so we put in a daycare.
Wow,
So
you
we have a
think of
babysitter.
everything.
We have a babysitter to watch our grandkids so that our kids still work with us.
Oh, that is incredible.
So that's a
Family
lot of fun.
operation and then a built-in daycare.
Yes.
You
So
can't beat
really, the premise is that we make homemade meals. Our motto is we cook the way you would if you had the time.
that. Okay.
So it's
Oh.
basic home cooking. My
Okay.
mom was an Iowa farm girl.
Oh.
I cook like her. And so
Okay.
then we just started mass producing and multiplying our home recipes.
Wow.
So everything's from scratch.
Okay.
And we never add preservatives. We go as organic as we can.
Okay.
And trying to stay within the family budget too, the average
Right.
family budget.
Right. Absolutely.
So it's been fun. It's been quite an adventure. There's been ups and downs for sure.
Okay.
But we've hung in there now. We've been in this location since 2007. So we're in our 14th, 15th year.
Okay, and I
Yeah.
know Ron was telling me about trying to find sources, great sources. So where do you go to find good sources? Like you were talking about eggs and different materials. Where do you go from
one of our suppliers, we actually did some research within their sites,
Okay,
drilled down into their products and found their suppliers.
okay,
And then asked if they would mind carrying some of the products that their suppliers had that we needed.
okay.
So they're beginning to bring in stuff that we would use in our facility. One of them, of course, is the Caputo Italian flours.
Okay, yes,
Mhm.
which
So
those are
we
much
use- we
cleaner.
use-
Yes.
We use that on our sourdough bread.
Okay,
she mills the flour for our standard bread.
Okay.
Yeah, so just my sourdough starter, what did it turn? Just 3 or 4 years old?
Yeah, something like
Oh,
that,
wow.
but it's
So you've
really
had the
nice.
same one. Okay, I
Yes,
love it. We do
yes.
sourdough too. Okay.
Mhm.
So I developed it here, brought it home, let it sit there for a while and develop further, and then split off the 2 sourdoughs.
Okay.
And it's really interesting how they each develop their own character.
Okay. Yes. Yes.
Mhm.
Okay.
So it's been a lot of fun.
Interesting. Well, thank you. So I was wondering, for those who don't understand, why is that Italian flour superior to what we have in the United States?
Well, number one, because it's cleaner.
Right.
It
And
doesn't-
why is it cleaner?
It's cleaner because they don't use the pesticides, they
Right.
don't GMO.
Yes.
The main thing for us, of course, is the GMO.
Okay.
They don't genetically modify, so that fits, and
Yes.
And
it behaves so much nicer.
and my understanding is they don't use the glyphosate over there. Is that
Correct.
correct?
Correct.
Okay. So it's
And then-
easier for people to
Mhm.
digest. Is that
And then
correct?
we
Okay.
use a flour out of, I think it's Wisconsin, Sunrise,
Mhm.
Okay.
and they have a pre-1950s flour
Okay.
that we also use. We don't use it as extensively since we found the Caputo.
Okay. Okay. Wonderful.
So even our son-in-law, who is very gluten intolerant, he can handle the Caputo flour.
right. That's what I've heard, that many people,
It's
they can go to
wonderful.
Europe and they can eat over there
Mhm.
because
Yes.
it doesn't have all the toxins in it.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
wonderful. Well, thank you for offering that. The other thing I was going to ask is, with your sourdough, do you add yeast into it,
No.
or how do you? Okay.
No.
So it
No,
is
it's
all
risen
sourdough. Okay.
sourdough.
That
Yep.
is huge, because so many times in the stores, right, you go for a sourdough and they've added yeast or other additives
Mhm,
to it. So you
correct.
have it absolutely pure.
Yes,
Mhm.
it's absolutely yeast-free.
Okay,
Mhm, yes,
wonderful, wonderful.
yeah.
And I understand that you're going to be doing a grand opening on, what do you call it, a storefront, or what do you?
Well,
Yeah.
yes, because right now we call ourselves the secret backdoor store, because
Okay.
people had to enter from the back of our
Okay.
kitchen. So you had to drive into an alley, a nice alley, not a funny one,
Right.
and enter from the back. And we
Okay.
just had a tiny little area because it was so expensive to have a real store in a retail location.
Okay, right,
And so to keep in business,
right.
we decided that we would just sell out of the back of our kitchen,
Okay.
and it's worked. People
Okay.
hunt us down.
Wow.
But now we are excited, possibly even the following Monday, we could be opening in this new storefront, so people will not have to go into the alley anymore.
Okay. Oh,
We'll have windows looking out
Okay.
onto the mountains, so we're really excited about
and
that.
you're right off the interstate too.
Yes,
so it's
we are.
very easy access, even from the springs, right?
Mhm. Yes, yes.
Okay. So one other thing I was going to ask about is your Slenderiiz drops. You both started on the Slenderiiz drops, and I was just so touched by your stories. So I was wondering
Okay.
if you could both share kind of your stories with that.
Okay. Well, Brenda introduced us to the hormone balancing drops, and we started, I believe, at the beginning of August.
Mhm.
And we both were into it for losing some weight and so on. Ron had
And to gain some health.
Yes.
Okay.
And had some digestive issues, and so that he was excited about. And for me, wanting better sleep and that sort of thing. So we started noticing positive results within a couple of weeks.
Okay.
And then I think it was after the first month or two, then we added in the Renew product,
oh yeah,
from
don't you
Partner
love
Co.
that?
Oh, we love it. And now we've added in Limu and Noni.
Okay.
But yeah, how much have you lost?
Well, I retired from driving truck.
Right, and that
That-
was what I was really
Mhm.
interested in. So how
So
long did you drive trucks
I
for?
drove truck for 10 years.
10 years. Okay, and that's a big 18-wheeler type
Yeah,
of
so
truck.
cross country,
Okay.
over the road is what they
Okay,
call
that's
it.
a lot.
Which is kind of damaging to your body.
Right.
So I'm kind of still recovering from that.
Yes.
I came back, when I got out the truck, I weighed 194.
Okay.
I lost a few pounds since coming home. And then since I've been on the Slenderiiz drops, I've lost anywhere, depending on how you calculate it, between 25 and 35 pounds.
25 and 35. That is amazing.
And a lot of it is inflammation pounds.
Right, right.
So
Mhm.
it's nice to get that off. My tummy is not as big as it used to be.
Right. Are your clothes fitting better?
Yes.
Okay.
And feel better.
Okay, that is
So-
amazing. And I've heard truckers can have some of the worst health
Mhm.
out of any of the other
Well,
careers.
the food is so bad.
Right, right.
You eat wherever you stop, and
Right.
sometimes there's not nice places.
right.
And there's fast food restaurants that I shouldn't mention that I wouldn't want to eat at
Right.
now that I'm home.
Yes, yes. Okay. Oh, well, I'm just so appreciative of your story because you took control of your health and you are moving forward despite having this background of being a trucker. So thank you for sharing
Well,
that.
thank you.
And I was wondering about you, Donna. How has your progress been?
It's been very well.
Okay.
I have lost 20 pounds.
Okay.
I want to go about another 10, but I'm kind of taking that a little slower.
Okay.
But sleeping better.
Okay.
And
Isn't
I didn't
sleep huge,
Oh, it's
especially when you're
very-
running a business, right?
Yes, very, very big. Well, one thing I was noticing, I'm on my feet a lot all day here.
Okay.
And I was just always having this lower backache. And I thought, oh, it must be because I'm getting older and I just work too hard.
Right.
After 3 months of being on the Slenderiiz drops, it suddenly occurred to me, I no longer have a backache. And I haven't changed what I do from day to day.
Right.
And I thought, oh my goodness, it must have been inflammation as well.
And you didn't know.
I didn't know.
Oh my goodness.
And so I no longer have to say, I need to go sit down for 5 minutes, you know. I can just keep
amazing.
going like I'm in my 30s.
And you're on, usually how many hours on your feet on a normal day?
8 to 10 for
8
sure.
to 10,
Yeah.
because you're baking and you're
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
you're managing and everything.
Mhm.
Oh, that's
Right.
amazing.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
And finally, last question I was going to ask is, if you could tell me about Renew, what has that done for you?
I think mostly was the better sleep
Mhm.
too, wasn't
Okay.
it? Yeah. I'm sure there's other health benefits that has just kind of been happening to us, but
Okay.
the sleep.
Okay, and that's huge.
It's huge.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, I wanted to say thank you so much. So grateful for your time.
You are welcome.
And I would love for you all to support this business. So I will try to put, if you can give me a link, we'll put
Okay.
it down below
Okay.
so that people can find
Well,
you.
we thank
Okay.
you.
And I'm guessing you're just in Colorado. So do you,
Yeah.
you don't ship out of
No, we
state,
don't.
Not
right?
anymore.
No.
We did for a little while.
Oh, you did?
We
Okay,
did. But it's
okay.
hard to keep frozen product
Right.
frozen.
Yes, that's very expensive, I'm sure.
And shipping is expensive.
It is.
Mhm.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
wonderful. Well, thank you for what you're doing and providing
you.
meals and food that is, what you said, better than homemade. Is that your?
We cook the way you would if you had the time.
Okay. I love it. Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.